Your silence violates us with violence, because by nature our love is quiet. My name is Taylor R.G Mitchell, and I've written this poem in honor of George Floyd and Coral Anita Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor. Thank you. Your silence violates us with violence, because by nature our love is quiet. We champion heroes from the day we are young, so it hits us with tremendous shock when we see who we really live among. We persecute the villains because that's the story that we are taught to know. Prison, jail, where else do all the bad men go? We catch them, right? That's the fight, because we are vigilant, on our toes. But all you prophet heroes, you need your foes. Bad men do not go to prison because your system allows white rich men to just say no. Good people can do terribly bad things, despite what they claim to know, and now with cameras it has started to show. The wrongness, undeniable. The men who you call heroes, finally you too see that they are unreliable. In a system that values profit, and to anyone who says no, come off it. Capitalism knows that anything is obtainable. All you profit heroes need continuous targets to stay sustainable. Prison isn't for the bad, it is for the containable. When your panel judges cast their vote, it is against the unrelatable. Because as a child you were taught to fear the dark. This is no attack, please do not close your heart. You do not need to be smart. The myth of the boogeyman you think of causing you fright comes from black men without homes walking at night. The seed has buried deep and it has rooted. It stemmed when your white guilt blamed black ancestry for their heritage being looted. Our men and women have been raped, and you do not know how to care about that because that's exactly how your mind has been shaped. In your sexual education, thanks to internet porn, you think that you've experienced us being in your norm. But with you it is just sex. Something about a facial. Add a black body in that mix and now it is biracial. Because you are taught through pictures and titles that we are the others, in a tight, thick blanket that covers and smothers. Who needs a Glock? Being black must be hard. But at least you've got that big black cock. Notice the word that, not a, not my. It isn't my phallus that you think of, because to you we are not individual. This hate sex, this is ritual, and it is the weaponization of my skin, the cycle that we go around in. A naked black body, a naked male black body, is labeled a thug. So when I meet a pretty guy or girl and I want a hug, your mind's computer, it has a bug. There exists already an expectation. You do not even realize that there has always been this segregation. In the games we play, there is separation. And for over 400 years, you demand our patience. When I am naked, I am at my most vulnerable. I am unarmed. You were taught that the colour of my skin itself is a weapon, and this concept should make you all alarmed. My black body exists, and my existence causes you harm. White privilege is oblivion, believing that even for a second, for us there is rest or calm. From media to cartoons, art is accessible to the young and to the old, but it is the darkest characters that are scripted to be wrong in the binary we are sold. Justice systems hold me accountable to your guilt, and you continue to judge me with scales that tilt. White men break the rules, and black men are punished for no longer being tools. I've never smoked weed, but because of the news you read or whatever minority you see, you blame me. At age 14, you stopped me in the streets, asking for my dealer, and you hate the fact that I cannot be your healer. We are punished for our lack of compliance. Our rejection of stereotypes is read by you as spiteful defiance. When we fail to perform your favourite black fantasy, you brand us as arrogant and you push us to the back of your periphery. Shattering your expectations is disruptive, but this is no excuse to lie and call us eruptive. You project onto us the aggression you feel because the dilemma you are now faced with, it is very real. This is you taking from us. You steal. You lash out because we refuse to kneel. You damage and ravage, spreading your rumors of what you call a black savage, because your childhood was made knowing that we lived in shade, and if out of line, under a spade. Because if we aren't the bad guys, you start to realize that you contribute to the lies. You tell your white cries when you are blue. We will always and forever offer you a tissue. When we die, you sigh. No one questions why when they see our skin. You decided that being black was a sin. When you cry, the whole world complies. When we cry, our every sound is scrutinized. You revoke our honest alibis, you accuse us of lies, and you deny us our right to survive. But you are colorblind. You seize no need to be kind. This, a detachment from your empathic mind. Looking at the whole picture, hope is scarce to find, especially when you compare today with the rest of time, because being black is still a punishable crime. Capital punishment has evolved to a system guards control. Whites are incentivized not to be caught being bad. Being black has you mad. Our sentence is that our entire life is had. Because we are assumed to be bad. Because regardless of class or status from day one, you have been taught to hate us. When your support is quieter, Black Lives Matter for you is satire. Not all heroes wear capes. Educational institutions teach how to hate. The Bible romanticizes heaven as a white bright light, nothing of color in sight. We have to think that this life has been a trial, because otherwise there is no excuse for us drowning in bile. Your Christian Jesus born in Bethlehem is painted white to look like them. Darkness is a concept you have labeled a wrong step. Platforms used to teach what is or isn't right have always been contorted by spite. The foundations are not level enough. We have it rough. You say you know. You say it's tough. But you snigger because you think that we bluff. What you call offense in defense. An offense you have misused. The repercussions have had my people abused. We have been slaughtered for sport, and we are treated as the evil to thwart because there is no respect for our trauma, because a myth exists that it is all in the former. That our Holocaust has passed and gone, when in matter of fact, people still think that us living is wrong. You call us nigger because you hope to trigger. Our trauma is not yet sacred to you because it is something that we are all still going through. You couldn't keep us as slaves, so you forced us into untimely graves. We carry a burden to stay tame as you erase our names. The new slaves are the ones that you catch and keep in a cage. We outside of the caves are encouraged to harbor shame and rage. Because if they are the heroes and they are the villains, then we don't have to think about who's dying or killing. We think that we are civilians, but we've been played. We are their minions. We do not have the support or the value in our resources to dismantle and restructure what is missing from our forces. In our society, we need to manage rehabilitation. Once we are locked in that box, we are stained if we ever return back to that nation. You have been trained to hear, but never to listen to us. That when we are screaming, to fear, that we are making a fuss. Our despair is minimized, our pain criticized. I understand why it is that my people riot, because our pain is lost in the quiet. Reality warps when we refrain and maintain our silence. we are reeling from each and every endurance, be it passive or active violence. My culture has been stolen by your soldiers, rebranded by your scholars, and rebuilt by us for your use. If it would cure the seemingly hateful, contagious hate flu, we would accept your broken truce. But for too long, we have felt the grip of your noose. We demand to be supported as we are set free safely and finally cut loose. We are over retribution. If this second we all promise to stop racial pollution, there needs to be a space for everybody to look accountability in the face. All of us need to be able to grieve. We all need reprieve. I do not know about you, but I cannot breathe. My name is Taylor R.G Mitchell, and this has been a tribute to George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and a tribute to my grandmother, Coral Anitha Taylor Izzard Griffith. Thank you very much.